Hello, so welcome to part 3 of the Angelic Pearls 144. And just before I start, because this chapter is called the Christ Seed, and although I haven't read it yet, I just noted that it says DNA upgrades, right? Which then just reminded me of, I have this galactic astrology calendar which I got from Earth Star Academy, which I actually am training with at the moment in shamanic practices, and knowing today that today is the so it's the 7th and 8th of July, and it's about tuning in to our original home base for DNA upgrades. So how aligned is that, right? This is talking about DNA upgrades. Today is the day of DNA where we can really tune in and receive even more upgrades today. So as I always say, nothing is a coincidence. So it's divinely guided and fitting that I am reading this chapter today. Okay, so it starts with just a little quote from Archangel Saraphina, which I have to say, I've never come across Archangel Saraphina on my journey. It was really Archangel Michael that first came through to me, made himself known, and I was really spending a lot of time communing with Archangel Michael, praying to Archangel Michael, very early on in my awakening, asking for signs, asking for guidance, and there were just so many signs and synchronicities, and as you start to communicate with the archangels as well, that will happen for you. Obviously, you don't need to communicate with the archangels, right? Your soul is angelic. And I commune a lot with my soul, but it is nice to work with these other consciousness structures as well, to work with the archangels. So Seraphina is not someone I've come across, so let me know in the comments if you've worked with Seraphina before, but this is what Seraphina has to say. We love harps because they closely resemble our extensions. What people see as wings are thousands of tiny light vortexes spiraling out from us. It goes out in many directions. We use this to fly and be as a sphere. This is what Ezekiel saw as a wheel, because they are spiraling at such a fast vibration. They make sounds. Therefore, when we are coming into one's field, they hear a choir. Beautiful. How amazing. And I'm reading this book at the moment, which I'm going to read on my channel as well. This lady that's sort of working with some of the Egyptian gods and goddesses like Isis, Hathor, when they're coming into her field in meditation, that's exactly what she's hearing. She's just hearing this choir of angels. Okay, so Pearl Code 8, the Christ Seed. So these Pearl Codes are not in order, the numbers are not in order. So Pearl Code 8, the Christ Seed. The 7th, 8th and 9th, and interesting, right, the 7th, 8th and 9th energy centers work as a triad, when today we are on the 8th, or the 7th, sorry, when I'm recording this, which is the DNA upgrades, which is in alignment with the calendar for the DNA upgrades as well. So obviously whenever you see this video, because time is fluid, these energies are still relevant for you, but it's just particular potent that I'm doing this right now. So the 7th, 8th and 9th energy centers work as a triad. The Christ seed is located in your thymus, the higher heart portal. Once the crown has been ignited, it then starts this tri-effect effect. It starts firing off emissions, hence the term fire codes. This is opening a gateway to your higher self. I've just realised I'm not using my microphone, so I'm just going to start using it, but I'm not going to re-record that. What we've done already. Okay. This is opening a gateway to your higher self. This then transforms your heart energy center into the blue-white diamond light. The Christ seed is what holds your Christos blueprint. Once it starts firing off emissions, it is completely shifting the toroidal field of energy around your heart center, which then shifts the field around your anchored bodies. The firing emissions go into your grid, which is connected to the grid of the planet, and it sends these pulses of diamond light into the planetary network. So I have to say, the more that I've been working with my chakras, the more that I've been opening up, cleansing, purifying my chakras, it's like I started to just feel this massive heart opening. So now I can feel my heart feeling, and I can feel its expanses. And if you're not already there, you will start to feel, the more that you stay committed to your path of self-discovery, your spiritual growth, the more your heart chakra is going to open and expand. So DNA upgrade. Your higher self is starting to fully connect to that cord that pillar of light into you, feeding you. During this time, you will feel the changes in your body. Your DNA is being upgraded and the dormant strands awakened. You will feel changes in your heart rhythms. You will feel heart palpitations. You will feel tingles around the throat. You may have slight congestion and coughing, for it is expanding and crystallizing inside of you. And actually, the last couple of days, I have been feeling that, and that is on and off. I've been realizing, because I can really feel my energy body. I can feel when upgrades are happening, and leading up to this. Not so active last few days, but a massive throat activation. And as I was going through that throat activation, I then had a sore throat for a couple of days. So you might experience things like this as things are being purged out of the body. But these pass very quickly. This activation within the DNA is not only affecting you, but also the direct genetic links within your family line. Nucleotides help make RNA and DNA. RNA receives messages from this light igniting inside of you to then produce and alter your DNA. When we say alter, we speak of transforming it into its original organic divine blueprint. This blueprint is the angelic human race. This is a key role in transforming your carbon-based DNA into a silica base, which will then merge with thy light body to fully crystallize. Once the pillar of light is fully connected with thy higher self, it creates this protection field where you are currently living. Everyone's toroidal field is a different size per each light body is a different size. Some are thousands of miles spread out and some are a mile. When you ignite the Christ seed, open the gateway for your higher self to filter into you, to rearrange your grids. It is helping to rearrange the planetary grid by filtering diamond white light into it. Beautiful. So this is, even everyone on earth right now is receiving these light codes, whether they're aware of it or not. It's just that when you are consciously participating with your ascension, then you can actively start to receive more and open up more capacity within your body by being dedicated to things like meditation, being in nature. And you can also have more of an understanding that, because this light is coming in, it's going to be bringing up a lot of our deepest shadow selves. So we can feel a lot of insecurities surfacing, things like that, which we just have to hold space for ourselves, be kind, have compassion, and just allow ourselves to feel it. If we allow ourselves to feel it rather than numbing it out, which is something we've probably done a lot in the past, then it will just start to discharge from the body. With every breath you take, like a domino effect, it helps your neighbours who live in your community, sending them fire letter codes, igniting their DNA, which will awaken them into a higher state of consciousness. This is what light workers, warriors of the light, are here to do. This is the meaning of being the vessel of light, the IV line connected to your pearl essence, allowing the light to flow through you and into the veins, grid lines of the body of earth. What's also happening is you are creating new grid connections, filtering codes from a higher density lattice and realigning a crystal grid at your home. You are literally reversing the grid system back to its organic flow state. Once this is done, watchers are put in place to oversee this and guard this from becoming undone again. The shadows are not aware of this happening fully, per they are anchored into the divergent inorganic grid network. We are working together above the ground and below the ground, also with our kindred inside the planet, uniting the surface once again with them. It has been programmed to believe the shadows know who all are in human form. This is not so. The ones of the guardianship and those original grid creators are hidden by frequency. They are invisible. They are wrapped in a cocoon of pure source light. Divine Mother Dragon Scales project out diamond light, which instantly transmutes any frequency below the love vibration. And that is what I've realized on my journey as well. The more we connect to the light, the more we go on that journey to reconnect back to the true soul self, do our healing, the more light we admit, the more, we don't need to really shield our energy per se. We do look after our energy, of course, but our light is so powerful that it really dissolves those negative frequencies and really creates a protection of our energetic field. It is the love vibration that creates that protection for us. The dragon egg in legends is the Christ seed within the planet. For all of creation houses their own Christ seed. The blue pearl for earth is the blue pearl of this universe. Once ignited fully, will put with her all cosmic creations and will pull with her, all cosmic creations anchored upon the organic divine blueprint. And it says the connection of heart and spirit. The heart organ is duplicated in your light body, which connects directly to your spirit. When one expands their heart, it allows the doorway to open for the spirit. Like a dove flying into the sun, so does the spirit into the heart portal. And then I've just got a passage here. It says, and the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And that is Genesis 8:11, King James Version. In the original Pearl teachings, this spoke of how spirit comes during the night of a soul to anoint. Noah merely represents the man consciousness going through the dark night of the soul process. One must survive the dark chambers of self before spirit can enter through the heart portal. In the Hebrew tongue, Sheman, it is for a tree of oil, with the rooting of this coming from the word Shemish, for sun or to shine. This is where the original teachings of the light of a soul shining was altered into an olive leaf. Surrounding to your spirit is key to the crown stage of the ascension pathway. For you see, the heart holds all of the addresses like an address book. It is like the GPS in a car pre-programmed. When one expands their heart, opening the doorway for their spirit to take over, then all one must do is simply be. Trust spirit and allow spirit to drive you along the highway of this timeline. It is only when allowing spirit to drive can you enjoy the scenery around you. And this is a journey we're going, right, to retrust our connection to spirit, because this whole reality has made us distrust ourselves and our connection. So we second guess ourselves, or we go into these fears of the future rather than staying in the present, now in our presence, and allowing source to guide us, allowing our light to guide us. This is a remembering, a relearning, and we start to become more trustful of this the more we connect to source. This is when you notice the trees in the distance at the edge of a field, or the deer at sunset eating. If you were in control of the car, you would have noticed this. When you surrender to your heart, it is placing your vessel into an autopilot mode. Simply be in the now. Take your left palm and place it over your chest and feel yourself. Just take a deep breath now. You know, anytime we feel stressed, we feel anxious, we can just do that, right? We can just put our hand over our heart. We can just breathe in and invite our true soul self in. Just ask, just make an invocation. Just say, invoke my higher self to come through and be with me now, to bring peace back into the body. And we can just use the power of our breath to bring ourselves back into the center, back into the now. Just feel yourself, feel whom you are. Remember thy spirit. See the wings of the dove expand. Feel the wind pass over thy feathers. Once you become one with the dove, you'll never desire to stop flying. Nothing caresses a spirit more than the feeling of the wind over thy feathers. You know, I had this thought when I was walking in the woods, and I felt the wind on my face, and I thought, imagine if you could not feel any wind, how we would be in this 2D reality. So we can feel that wind, allow that wind to bring us back into the true light of source and what it really means to be in source, which is to feel all things. So Zanita Ray, upon receiving this message, I was shown this painting. What this represents is Venus as your heart, the mere representation of the pearl, the discovering of your Christ seed inside of you, the beautiful spark of light that we all are. That feeling one feels when they first fall in love, isn't it wonderful? Imagine how it feels to see your own light and to fall in love with who you are, who you were created to be. You know, and I remember having this feeling I can't remember what it was, a few months ago or something, when I just had this overwhelming feeling of being in love with myself, with my soul. And this happens again, as we say, as we continue on this journey, we'll start to have those waves of feeling like that about ourselves again, which is the truth of who we are. We are love. With this said, try to hold no judgment upon others, for they are all the divine. Some may get lost upon their way, and that is okay, because as the Seraphim stated before, what creates a pearl? Sometimes we must beat our wings in order to learn, and it is always for a higher purpose we may not be aware of. Just how a fish is not aware it is swimming around in circles in that fishbowl, but we on the outside can see it. One day when it is divine timing, that fish will wake up, and so will our brothers and sisters. So take it easy on them. Give the gifts of a smile to the next person you pass on the street, for nobody truly knows the way of a heart except the one wearing the armor. And I'm going to link a video at the end, because I did a video on this the other day, about, you know, us not shaming each other about the stages of awakening that we're on. So you might find it interesting, because it's really in alignment with that, and it's really about us really moving. You know, when the warriors of light, you know, we are the ones that have to have so much courage and so much strength, because it takes so much courage and strength to be love, to be the light in the face of so much darkness, right? And we have to understand, and this came to me in meditation today, that, you know, the darkness, it does come from source, right? Everything comes from source. However, some of the darkness has become so corrupted that it has forgotten the light, that it is rejecting the light. So what does that mean then? If it is forgotten the light, it is rejecting that light, it means those vessels are without light. Well, no one's ever without light, right? But these vessels are without light, which means they are without God. They're without that loving, benevolent, life force energy. They are without God. Imagine being in a vessel where you are completely devoid of any light. That is hell. Those beings are in hell. Now, I'm not saying that they have no responsibility for being in that hell. All I'm saying is that we can just hold that space. We don't have to participate in that. We can see it. Let's not deny it is there, right? We don't need to deny the darkness, but we can realize that some beings, some vessels are so devoid of light, of God, that they've forgotten the truth of who they are. So we can just hold space for that rather than judging them, and actually put all the focus, because when we are judging another anyway, and hey, I'm not judging you for judging, I have judged many people. I realised in 2020 that I used to think I was this person that was not full of judgment at all. In 2020, I started to judge people for not being where I was in my consciousness. I had to go and heal those parts of me. And it was fear that was creating those judgments. But I brought that energy back to the self, and I started focusing the energy on the self, rather than putting my power outside of myself and blaming others, judging others for how I feel. I took absolute 100% responsibility for how I feel, and I use that to change my own life. And that's what we need to do. We need to bring it back to the self, and ask ourselves how we can be more light, how we can create more of what we want in our own realities. I'm going to read, let's see what time. Okay, so I'm going to read another, because it's only 18 minutes. So Pearl code 8, that's just a little diagram that she has put in for that. You know, you can see here, I've got this star which says divine in the middle, which is a sticker that I created because I used to draw this when I was little, loads, this star, not really realizing what it was. But the triangle, you know, is the 3, right? The 3 is a divine number. It's the triad, it's the trinity, and this symbol, the triangle, is a symbol for so many. It's the symbols for the different elements. It's a symbol for the coming together of the Mother, Father, God, and the child. There's so many representations of the 3, of the Trinity. So divine Mother Spark. So like a child in a mother's womb, you are my dear. Outside you hear the noise, do not fear. For as a child of light, you are protected in the womb of the divine, surrounded by plasma waters of holy light. See it shine. Allow this light to feed you, not the noise. Be graceful, my gentle lamp. Be of poise. Divine Mother Spark. Okay, so Pearl code the mind. Just going to have a quick sip of this. Over many lifetimes you upgrade, just like the computer has during the duration of your current lifetime. The computer becomes less dense, yet with the capacity to hold more memory. It can move at a faster speed, just like how the internet has become. Think of how communication started with a messenger delivering messages on horseback, and now with a simple phone device, at the click of a button you can send it across the world. This is how one can communicate with their higher bodies. The signals in the brain can receive faster currents of light, those plasma electric shock waves holding pockets of information. Therefore, during the night when your body is resting, you get body shocks. And I have felt this often when I'm going into meditation at night. What is happening is your higher light spark is sending signals into your brain. This signal can be information, upgrades to DNA, or simply a slight alignment of your energy field. All of these are always for your highest good and only happen as your soul permits what is needed at that time for its growth. Yeah, your soul is the guardian of your field. And you know, as I was awakening, you know, I feel a lot of energy, a lot of work on the crown, in the third eye. The other night I could really feel my hand chakras being opened up more and more. So again, the more you journey, you'll start to tune into your energy field. In fact, I'm going to release I have a chakra meditation that goes through the chakras. So whilst it is a series, is part of a series, you can still do it as a standalone. So I'm going to release that along with the energy transmission that goes with it. So look out for that on my channel. I'll release it today at some point with this. Once the merging has occurred, the reconnecting and plugging in of air, spirit, into earth, matter, ignite again. This is the meaning of coming back online, the state where there is no need for storage in the physical brain. All is encoded within the strands of DNA, hence why it is multi-dimensional. And in fact, look out, because I also did one about upgrading consciousness. In fact, I'll link that one, week 3. So you'll have week 3 and week 4. And well, I'll link it in the description because I'm already linking a video, so there'll be too many links to this. I'll link it in the description. And that one, actually, the meditation in that is much working with the DNA upgrades as well. So you'll have one there that's really working with upgrading our mind, our consciousness, cleansing it of all those viruses that let us think that we are not good enough. And then the 4th one is then working with aligning and opening up the chakra systems as well. So hence why it is multidimensional. Like a computer indexes files, so do the web of DNA that lies among all of existence. The physical brain puts off EMFs, electromagnetic field, per it simply is a generator. The pearl in the back of the brain, the pineal, acts as a receiver, just like the RNA in the body. Then the brain translates like a telegram operator to then relay the message to the fields of matter. As you go up in density, this will occur at a faster pace, causing the brain to become less physical with each stage you pass. At the stage of all knowing, you become simply light. Now on Earth, all ancient generators, pyramids, are coming back online to power up the grid of Earth. She is a computer directly connected to the all, a web designed and interconnected. This is how all of existence operates. Everyone has the ability and power sources to connect to all. It all starts with asking, who am I? This turns the generator on and signals to the supercomputer that you are ready. Then the monad, the true organic original spark, starts sending signals down and building the bridge. You know, that is one question I always ask my clients. If I ask you that question, who are you? What do you say? And often they'll say things like, I am a mother, I am an accountant. And this is the stuff that I used to say when I was 21. I am 21, I am a girl, I am, but that is the programmed self, right? That is the character that we play in this reality, which you could see as being this epic book, this epic storyline, which we are the writers of, the directors of, and the participants in the story. But the truth of who we are is soul. That is the true self. And as we start to ask, like this says, who am I? We're opening up to our soul to start working with us more consciously. Our soul is always there. It's never left us, it will never leave us or abandon us, but it does need us to start to wake up to it, to start to open up. And that's why we often go through difficult challenges as well, because it is those times, is the dark nights of the soul, that we actually go in and start to communicate with our soul. We start to wake up and start to invite the divine in. Well, I say in, it's already within you. We start to ignite the divine spark within us. So this turns the generator on and signals to the supercomputer that you are ready. Then the monad, the true organic original spark, starts sending signals down and building the bridge, the towers, the lines of communication. We then start to build. What a wonderful sight to see for us in the higher realms. This is what is meant by a Christmas tree. For your energy centers stream like a rainbow river, shining bright all around the planet. A true disco party for us in the ballroom of heaven. What an amazing visual I am getting through that. 144 stellar anchor, 144,000 tentacles of light create long tubular structures known as pillars. And you'll realize in the meditation, in both the meditations that I do in those energy transmissions that will be in the description below, you'll realize I'm always creating this pillar of light and connecting us in to our higher self, into this pillar of light, because we are these pillars of light. And as we start to consciously create these pillars of light, our light gets stronger and we become these lights, just like it's describing here, all around the world, into the heavens, into the earth. Our bodies are the bridge. These long tubular structures known as pillars, connecting strings of light from the hand to the puppet to move it and construct it. Through these lines, these pillars of light, we come down into form. Our puppet of flesh that we are as a human, our higher God spark from the heavenly realms orchestrates us. Through that string, that IV line of liquid light, we take a drip, drip, drip to input codes into the Earth's grid over time to assist in creating a new structure for the Earth to adjust and move just how you adjust and move with your very own IV line. Drip, 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 preparing, reconstructing the crystal lattice, in brackets it says matrix, of the planet. This is working on a universal level also. The tentacles of light connecting to the 144 suns. Picture an umbrella head like a jellyfish touching the God source. And you know what? This is how I used to see the oversoul, as this like jellyfish, this oversoul, and all these tentacles, all these rays of light coming into physical incarnations. So it's interesting. Picture an umbrella head like a jellyfish touching the God source, with 144,000 tentacles of rainbow light cascading down into the 144,000 pyramids upon the earth. Up on the surface, you see the top of the pyramids. However, anchored underneath the surface, they are always mirrored. This forms the octahedron, with a point up towards the Earth's heart crystal and a point upward to receive codes from the universal suns, which filter down through the visible sun you see in the sky. I'm just going to show you that little diagram there. Diamond codes rain down into the pyramids to feed the grid lines. These diamond codes come down from the Godhead through the 144 universal suns. The suns are feeding the planet like a brain cell. Now picture Earth in the center of a nebula, connected to these suns like the pupil of an eye. The light body is the outer ring of the eye. But does a pupil not expand in darkness? Just as your pupils contract and expand, so does the many eyes of the God source. Every so often the eyes blink, and when they reopen, they see a new reality. Whoa, how beautiful is that? This reality is generated by the pyramidal cells located in your brain. And I actually got this vision a couple of days ago of all these cells in our brain as these like diamond mirrors, these facets of these diamond mirrors. These cells are truly what emit alpha waves, stroking like a paintbrush on a blank canvas with you as the artist. When one emerges and stands, oh, I'm getting like, I often feel energy just running through my legs. I just got a right chill then. When one emerges and stands with their own light, one must be able to hold the light to avoid combustion, to avoid burning in fire and brimstone. Brimstone symbolizes the odor of sulfur dioxide from lightning, where lightning is the Ra, the fire of your God spark, your very own pillar of light. What this means in its original teachings is that one must prepare all aspects of themselves in order to ascend both body and spirit together. You prepare drip, drip, drip of light into your body to be able to withstand the flash of lightning by your very own God spark. Now, I was walking in the woods the other day, and often we want it all to happen now. We want to switch on all at once, but it can't happen like that because the body's got to acclimatize. It's got to be able to bring in more and more light. This light is so high vibrational. Our bodies have been so dense that needs time to integrate it. And I was walking and I was looking up at the sun, and I just got it straight in my eyes, and it was just so bright. And then I was just walking. The trees were just adding a little bit of shade, and when I was under the trees and it was coming through, well, I could stare at the sun because I just had a little bit of shade, and I got that message right. Exactly, we must have that little bit of integration. We need a little bit of shade in order to bring in more light, and the more light that comes in, the less shade we need to bring in that light. So the odour of sulfur dioxide is merely a representation for breath. So be patient with yourself. Just be compassionate with yourself. Just know that you are being upgraded at the right speed for you. Your soul is in charge of that. All we can do, or what we can do as the human self of us needs to create the environment for our soul self to do that, and that is through meditation, nature, through doing things that bring us joy, through our spiritual growth, our spiritual practices. This is what allows our soul and our body to be in the right environment to bring in more and more light, more and more capacity. To be able to breathe into thyself this crystalline light with cycles from the lungs directly into the bloodstream. Only if one has not worked on thyself will one burn in the presence of the Christos light. Micro to macro, this is happening on a planetary level. This is what is spoken of in the book of Revelations. All of creation works in cycles, stages and ages. This is the dawn of the new age. The I am presence and thy highest spark, the Christos light, will try to descend when the earthquakes roar, when the lightning strikes and the heavenly gates open. But how can your spark descend and you ascend in the pillar of light like Eli if your vessel is not attuned? When the planetary body is attuned, then the 144 gateway of the sun portal stream down Christos light. The sun will project the light out and surround the planet, just like how each human vessel is surrounded by the Christos light of their highest self when they are attuned. This is the symbolism of an egg. For you will become wrapped in a blanket of light shaped like an egg. Some artists have displayed this as a sideways opening of an eye. It is all in the same. For one will pass through the sun portal like the eye of the needle if thy thread is finally integrated and not in disarray. If you're watching this now, then you are on that journey of self-discovery, of healing. So you are doing your work. Within the halls of Kala, so this is eye tapestry. Within the halls of Kala timelines, it is the tapestry of creation. Each cord is a creational elixir of life from the pearl drop of the eye. Within each cord houses multiple threads. These threads come together or move apart with each choice you make upon that timeline. Hence why you have aspects of yourself. These higher aspects are guiding you now, per each decision you make can disrupt or mend a thread. If the threads are not woven together, then the cord cannot pass through the eye of the needle, which it then says is the ascension gateway. To simplify the fall, a curious child came along once with a tool that caused some of these threads to tangle and even caused some to separate. Each of you is a makeup of the thread. Each of you carries an elixir, a colour of thread, needed to mend the tapestry. The threads are no longer tangled and only one simple pull is needed to mend it back again. Hence why it is spoken upon the importance of now in this node of time you are all upon. This tapestry from afar appears as the almighty eye, but when you look closely you see it is created by many eyes, for we are all one and together. When threaded in unison as that cord, will as one pass through the eye of the needle. then it says the 144 elect. The elect makes up 144 upon the earth plane. These elect hold specific key codes for the grid of the planet, as well as the organic, original, divine blueprint of this universal structure. These elect at this now node in time are fully connected to Metatron, the universal mind. They carry, now I'm going to just talk a little bit about this, right? And I'm really interested to know what you guys think about this, right? So Metatron, okay, so obviously Metatron, Archangel, and I see a lot of people talking about channeling Metatron, working with Metatron, and then I came across a spiritual teacher and have done some work with this spiritual teacher and resonate with so much stuff. You know, she was actually the one that really deepened my awareness of being in the body in my spiritual practices, rather than just being out there, really bringing things into the body. Now she talks about Metatron, and she says that the information that she has about Metatron is that Metatron is actually one of the fallen archangels. So one of the archangels that is of the dark side, that is of the rejection of the light. And she says, you know, look in Archangel and see Archangel Michael, Ariel, Uriel. There's that I-E-L at the end, whereas Metatron, Archons, because it's the Archons, right? The Archons that are part of that fall of consciousness, the fallen angels, the Archons which are attached to the Anunnaki. And when she said that to me, I was like, and she kind of, you know, went on to say, like, obviously a lot of people work with Metatron, and Metatron, you know, we know that the devil comes as an angel, right? Comes as a representation of the light, is charming. That's how many people fall for it, are tempted by the temptations that are given. And it kind of made sense to me. Metatron, Archon. Then later after that, I came across some more teachings that I really resonated with as well. And within those teachings, which actually Magenta Pixie's teachings, which I resonated with a lot of that, and there was a lot of activations. A lot of what those books brought to me, the Magenta Pixie books, it was confirming a lot of stuff I'd already been getting information about, but it also activated a lot more as well, and deepened some understandings as I read some of those books. But she talks about Metatron as well, and it does discuss this point about Metatron, saying that you know, really when it comes to Metatron, yes, there is a dark there is a dual representation of Metatron. There is a dark Metatron, but there is also a light representation of Metatron as well. So I'm just interested to know what you think about that. Obviously, Metatron's being spoken about here. So I'm interested. So let me know how you resonate to that. So let me find. So Metatron, the universal mind. So what she says is Metatron's box, cube, right? And she says, yeah, that's a cube. That's a matrix cube, the false inverted matrix that we're being programmed into. Anyway, Metatron. I kind of like, in my mind, after I was connecting to the Magenta Pixie teachings, I was like, I kind of feel that too. Like there's probably, like, you know, end of the day, we're not all dark and we're not all light. So perhaps there is two representations, and you can plug into the dark Metatron, or the part of Metatron that is undistorted within the heavenly realm. So yeah, interested to know what you think about that. Metatron, the universal mind, they carry within their light body sacred geometric light codes. The 144 of the 144 are directly projected fractals of the 144 Seraphim. These elect 144 are wrapped in a cocoon of sacred Seraphim light symbols, and they are fully aware of their divine mission. The elect 144 have sacrificed a great portion of their light to descend and walk this plane. Some have already ascended, assisting from the higher planes of earth. They knew the mission at hand, for it lasts an entire planetary life cycle, not just one stage within the life cycle, which is around 36,000 true Earth linear years. We will speak now in more detail on the roles of these walking masters, the gold dust, We carry with us gold dust when we create a new universal structure. This is the source energy. These golden particles are where the legends of fairy dust come from, exciting the tip of the wand, for it truly is magic. We use this creative force to go and plant the seeds of creation. This is why you have seeds when planting a garden, for it is a materialization of golden dust that we in the higher realms use. We gather this from Source, whom is the mighty flower. We gather the pollen from the mighty flower that never dies and is always in bloom. This is where the tree of life comes from. This is where the bag comes from that is engraved in ancient Sumerian tablets, for in the bag contains the gold dust. This is where the Christ consciousness legends come from, for Christos is life. Christos, Christ consciousness, is Source embodied in the flesh. So we are all that. I want to make that clear, right? When we talk about this 144, we are a part of this 144. We are these beings that are on this earth that are here right now. Everyone has this Christos spark within them. Everyone can activate it and activate all of it in their cells and move into Christ consciousness. Every single one of us. So there's no saviors coming to save us. I just want to make that clear. We are our own saviors. It is us. As we activate, as we go on our spiritual path, we are the ones that are activating the consciousness grid, that are all starting to work together, this one unified field of consciousness to anchor light into our bodies, into our realities, and that ripples out into the pond of humanity and starts a chain reaction of light just sparking all over. This is where the Christ consciousness legends come from, for Christos is life. It simply is life. It is the breath. For when one sees breath beyond the veil, it appears as glistening golden pollen floating in the air. This is the prana, the life force energy, the Ra. This is why pollen is golden yellow, for it is a physical mirrored reflection to remind you of life. For it is the bees. For if the bees no longer existed, nor the butterflies, for if the birds did not carry the pollen on their feathers from the trees, what growth would you have? And I was thinking about this the other day, right? We've been so programmed to see our source of life in our jobs, in our in all these external things, but the source of life is Mother Earth. What doesn't come from the mother? What in our life has not come from source, from the earth? If there were no longer seeds in existence to plant your food, what would you have? If the egg and seed between the male and female did not exist, what would life exist organically in your worlds as humans? No. Why is there always a seed and pollen? It is because it is the micro and the macro of the macro. To the elect incarnated, this gold dust is held in their energetic field. It filters into the energetic field of an initiate upon interaction. The golden dust is seeded and fed light by their own Christos selves. You see, it's confirming that, right? Our own self. Because our own higher self is connected into the Godhead. It will then ignite into their physical DNA, causing upgrades and activations. This is how sacred sigils and symbols work, connecting those of the physical planes to the higher planes of light. The key is to look upon them using your heart crystal, allowing that diamond-like cord within to connect you to your higher crystal heart. These worlds of creations are layered and spin in cycles. They are discs upon discs upon discs to create the beehive, to make the honey. This is why the nectar of honey is sacred and has layers of meaning. The life force, the prana, the pollen and the gold liquid are important, for it is life. The river of milk and honey. For what does it mean, dear beautiful sparks of light? Seek from thy heart, the eyes of thy heart, to truly understand the sacred messages hidden within ancient scriptures and legends. The codes are held within these words. This is what I always say. We've got to use our discernment, and I've always known this, and I'm sure if you're watching this, you've always deep down known this as well, that source, that God is a benevolent force, absolutely benevolent. So anything that ever depicts source as being this vengeful being that wants us to get down and obey to these inorganic rules, that is not the word of God. That is not the true God. That is the distorted God. That is the devil in disguise as God. That is what I truly believe and know in my body. This is what we do as the unity consciousness of the archangels from the higher light of the rainbow and of the grey scale. In the movies, they started as black and white, then transformed into Technicolor. What does this represent, beautiful sparks of light? Learn to read in between the lines, to pull back the curtains and watch behind the scenes as well as in between them. We planted this gold dust in the beginning throughout the grids, which are layered upon each other like curtains. In every density, there is a matrix, for a matrix is simply a grid. It is the programming, and without it, you would not exist. Therefore, one must learn to love the matrix. Exactly, the matrix is not wrong. A matrix simply means a reality. It's just that within the matrix we've been living, there's been a lot of inverted programs. So what we are doing is dissolving those inverted programs with our light and bringing back the true organic matrix back onto line, the divine matrix. Learn that you are one with it. Only then can you reprogram it, for you are the program key. The matrix is simply a mirror. The matrix delivers onto you what you deliver onto it. It is the golden fishnet that holds you all in. The golden fishnet that contracts and expands. When it is time, it collects the fish to bring them upwards to the next level of existence. For the net takes you out of the depths of the shadows and brings you up onto the surface of the light. Beautiful. Harvesting. The pollen of the matrix within this essential program appears like diamond jewels when it is ready to be collected. It is like a gem in a video game one must jump up to collect in order to go to the next level. This is why the collective fractals of the archangels are integrated at this time node, because the jewels are ready to be collected. As they move upon the geographical planes they contracted to incarnate upon, they collect the jewels into their heart. They are drawn into the heart portal, which is connected directly to Source, the golden ark, for they are a manifested vessel for the direct light of Source. Through them, Source is able to collect the jewels upon the land. This is another meaning of harvesting, for there are many. It is like going to a bank drive-through to place currency into the teller vacuum chute for a deposit. This is the vibrational currency. Sometimes one places a request for a withdrawal for more currency, and if the balance is there, then thy will receive it. This is how the heart portal works. The heart is also connected to the realms of the Illuminated Ones. When a deposit is made, it comes through the Illuminated Ones of the council in form. The illuminated representatives that walk upon the land are in few compared to the population of the seeds who are here in form. It is because they work directly with the programs as well as assisting in carrying out the divine plan that was asked of them directly by the God Source. They are the farmers who planted the seeds, helped them grow, and when it is time to harvest, they assist in gathering the crops. The Illuminated Ones gather the golden dust upon their many paths they have journeyed. Through their experience, it becomes honey for them to use to feed others who are hungry. Wisdom can be learned by those who have already walked in the pathways. Those footsteps are placed by the soul's journey, not just the human vessel you see appearing before you. Listen to them, for it is trial and error to go down that same pathway on your own when you can simply learn from their wisdom. Listening to one's elders is a key which has been lost. The time has come to find that key and open a new door. Exactly right. We're all teachers and students on this path. And it's not that at the end of the day, a teacher should lead you back to yourself, because all of the answers are within yourself, but we can share with each other. We can share our experiences and our journeys and our learnings, and we can help each other to find the truth within ourselves. Rainbow warriors. The rainbow houses all light spectrums, a representation of the all. If you take a slinky that is rainbow in colour and spread it out between the spirals, imagine the darkness, for the darkness is needed to transform and move into the light. The light is needed to move through the darkness and transform into light. For the first slinky spiral, you have the rainbow. Then in between the next spiral, you have the darkness, which is the void in between the light. Use thy heart to see through the 7 basic colours known in your programming. And again, that's the chakras, represents the chakras as well, which is the meditation I'm linking. For if you, in the description, for if you look upon an artist colour spectrum, do you not see multiple colours within the label of blue? Then towards the end of blue, does it not still hold violet? In violet, does it not hold spectrums of black? For black absorbs all colours of the rainbow. When one looks deeper within, you can see each ray hold the other rays. It is all interconnected, for labelling is dividing. With the new wave era, the labels of crystals, indigos, or whatever colour that is labelled on a random crayon one selects from the box is dividing. For you are all rainbow warriors. When you walk, shining your light as a rainbow warrior, one person may look upon you and be jealous, while another looks upon you thinking, wow, look how beautiful she is, and ask, what is your secret? For each one of these, is it not a different colour ray of the rainbow? Hold a clear crystal quartz to the window, allowing the sun to shine, and what reflects onto the wall from the pure light, is it not a rainbow? For the rainbow warriors who are pure light, walking as one with the light, will always reflect all colours of the rainbow. As they pass others by, one may see blue, one may see red, for each colour is merely a vibration. They are simply seeing a mirrored reflection. They will see the colour they currently vibrate at. So I think I've had so many amazing comments left about these videos. I'm so grateful. You know, these videos are definitely attracting those that are resonating on the path of light. And, you know, those comments, what do they reflect back? What is this saying? Is that what you are seeing as light coming through these videos is your light. You are seeing the reflection of that own light that resides in you. And I'm seeing that light in the comments too and feeling it. And I'm grateful. They will see the colour they currently vibrate at. So if they are drawn upon the vibration of jealousy, it's simply because they see in you what they subconsciously long to see in themselves. Now, I just want to say, like, you know, we all experience these feelings of jealousy, right? I have experienced that on my own path when I've watched other teachers, right? Just like that saying, sometimes when we feel those feelings, but I've understood that it's something in me that needs to be healed. I've not projected that onto the teacher. You know, I've understood that on my path, when I've come across certain teachers and they've been in more light than I've been in, and I've recognized that light and I've loved that light. There's been parts of me that's felt shame for not being in that same light, not being at that same level, and I've realized those are the parts of me that I need to heal. So I just want to say, if you do ever feel any of that, you're not bad and you're not wrong. We just have to recognize that it's a part of us that needs healing. It's okay. We feel what we feel. You know, we've been made to feel ashamed of certain feelings. We feel what we feel, and it's okay to feel what we feel. It only really becomes unhealthy when we are then projecting it onto another, and we can see that a lot in our reality, where people are projecting their own wounds onto each other. But it is okay to feel these things. We just simply recognize that there's a part of us that needs to heal, because at the end of the day, we are all exactly where we are meant to be. You know, this reality again has made us look at each other and compare ourselves to each other. It's pitted us off against each other. It's made us feel insecure and less than in relation to other people, rather than nurturing the truth about us, that we are all completely unique sparks of source. So whilst we are united through the source spark, we are unique expressions, and we are not meant to be exactly the same. We're not meant to be carbon copy clones of each other. We're meant to bring through our own energetic signatures, and it's time now that we start. That's not been nurtured in us as children, but you know, there's divine meaning to that. Now it's time for us to nurture that within ourselves and realize that we are exactly where we are meant to be. There is no competition between souls. All souls are absolutely equal. We are all equal. We're all on our own path, and we've all got we've experienced many different things. You know, there's one thing that unites us on the human journey as well. We've all been through different struggles, so we need to have kindness and compassion for ourselves, and just know you are exactly where you are meant to be. So you will So if you are drawn upon the vibration of jealousy, it's simply because you see it simply because they see in you what they subconsciously long to see within themselves, which they hold within themselves. So it's also saying that you hold that as well. But they must continue to walk through the dark chamber in order to see the light. This light is at the end of every tunnel. This is why after every storm you see a rainbow, for you must travel through the storm, the darkness, in order to see the light. Rainbow lights, multiple sparks of light, for this is what every soul truly is. All fractals of light are purity, for you come from the all, and the all is pure. When will all humans see this? Stop being petty. Feel with thy heart. Stop processing through the ego layers of the mind. Feel with thy heart. See all colours in the rainbow and follow the rainbow to the pot of gold. This represents your Christos self that holds the bag of golden dust. This is why the rainbow warriors have the hardest mission. You feel all spectrums, for you are all spectrums. Some have selected to feel all spectrums in early childhood to help them remember the all. Then later on the journey, they can help others to see the all within. Exactly right. So we can go through really difficult things as children and we can think, oh, I must have been bad to deserve that. No, that is not the truth at all. We can come into these lives and pick up, and we're entangled within cause and effect from many different levels and dimensions. We're picking up ancestral trauma, generational trauma, collective trauma. There's so much going on that is beyond the logical mind. It's not because we are bad or wrong, but actually we are those warriors coming in to heal that line. So if we experience something as a young child and then we heal it in ourselves, we can then go out and help so many other people's heal. So often it's through a desire to bring more love into the world. And it is those difficult points that start to awaken us to that rainbow light inside. This is the main message for those who label themselves as way showers should be showing. Through the rainbow is the way, through thy heart is the way. Ascension teachings of today are like a deck of cards thrown up in the air, 55 landing in different places. This is not ascension. Ascension simply is going through and feeling with thy heart. Go nowhere else, for thy heart is the portal that connects you to your soul, which is the all. Know that we love you all. We are proud of you all and ask that you see the love that you are. You, rainbow warriors, need to know that you are the light, the way, the truth. I love that, right? Because this is what this is one of the things within religion. I am not religious, and everyone has their own choice. If you want to, I'm not judging people that are religious. My brother has been through a huge journey with Christianity, and the reality is we connect on the truth about Source being benevolent. But within that is the teachings of Jesus Christ, which I believe to be distorted teachings, as much in our reality is being distorted. And it is said that Jesus Christ says, I, Jesus Christ, is the light, is the way, the truth. And I say, no, you are the light, the way, the truth. Each and every single one of us is the light, is the way, is the truth. That light spark is in each of us. And Source did not just put its light into one human being. I say, why would Source do that when Source can put its light into every single human being and experience life through each and every one of us? That is Source. Source creates, is the creator of creations, right? Created the whole universe, created us into being, breathed us into life, gave us life, gave us its own individual spark because it loved us and wanted us to experience, but it is within us so it can experience through us as well. So no, you are the light, you are the way, and you are the truth. So then there's a drawing of a massive star collapsing to form a black hole. Energy released as jets along the axis of rotations forms a gamma ray burst that lasts for a few milliseconds to minutes. Such an event within several thousand light years of Earth could disrupt the biosphere by wiping out half of the ozone layer, creating nitrogen dioxide and potentially causing a mass extinction. Now, I actually don't really know what the point of that is right at this very second, but like I said, that is the end of that. But this is what I mean, I'm not sure, maybe this will come out as we move through, but you know, I have no fear of a mass extinction upon this planet. We are going through an ascension portal, and I do believe that many humans are going to ascend with the mother. You know, that is my prayer, that is my hope for us all, and the people that do not ascend, the souls that do not ascend, and they have chosen it for themselves as well, so it's all good. We can't always understand from this perspective why a soul chooses what it chooses, but the soul understands why it chooses its own journey. So I think that was such a beautiful couple of chapters to read, so I hope that you enjoyed that, and I'll be releasing another in the next couple of days.